Hello everyone, David here. If you've been watching my channel, you know I've made quite a few videos now about the Line 6 HX Stomp, and it's kind of revolutionized my pedal board and my setup because now pretty much this is it. And I really like the sound I'm getting out of it as well. But I'm now turning my hand towards doing a bit of recording, and I'm starting to think one of Line 6's other products might be more useful for that. They make a plugin called Line 6 Native, and it's basically a bit of software that will plug into your software for recording, i.e. your DAW, your digital audio workstation, and it has all of the same simulation effects that you get on the HX Stomp and other Helix products. Now you can do recording with the Stomp, and in fact it's set up quite nicely for that because it will appear as a sound card on your system when you plug it in by USB, and you can record the wet channel, and you can even record the dry channel, i.e. the clean guitar sound with no effects applied, and you can even reamp it later. But what I'd like to be able to do is to be able to tweak the settings after it's recorded and then export straight away without having to go through the whole process of reamping, i.e. needing the hardware plugged in anymore. So I think Native is going to be good for that. And the bonus is you get a really nice discount if you already have a Helix product registered to your account. So because I've got the HX Stomp, I can get Native for $100 instead of $400. So let's buy it, give it a go, and find out if it's any good. Let's go. Okay, welcome back. It's now much later, and I'm now in a wide-angle shot, so you can actually see me playing my guitar. I've had a play with Line 6 Native, and it sounds great. It sounds as good as my Stomp, which is good because now I can record and actually tweak the settings after I've done the recording without needing to reamp, which is what I wanted to get out of it. I'll give you a quick demo of the sounds in it soon, but first I want to talk about one problem I had with it was that when I was first setting it up, I had a lot of kind of static noise, like clicks and pops going on in the background, and it became quite annoying. And it wasn't in the recordings, it was only while monitoring. But it was bad enough that it was kind of putting me off, so I had to go and fix that, and I fixed it by downloading a different set of drivers. Now, my audio interface has got its own set of drivers from the manufacturer, and they have been working fine, but not with Line 6 Native. So to get it to work with Native, I went to download ASIO for All, which is like a driver set that should work with almost any sound card and provide an interface for recording software like Studio One. So once I downloaded that, that made all the clicks and pops go away, so I recommend you give that a look as well. So I'll talk a bit about my setup. So I have my guitar, and that's plugged directly into my audio interface. There's nothing in between, although I would put a wah-wah pedal or chorus or some other stomp boxes there if I wanted to. And then you want to make sure you're getting a good amount of signal. So if you strum your guitar and you've got some sort of feed, like monitors set up on the audio interface, you should see the green bars just kind of going up when you strike a chord. And you want to get like a couple of green bars there. Try not to hit the orange too often, and definitely don't hit the red, because that means the signal is distorting before it's even got to your amps and your other effects. Once that's set up, you want to open up your DAW, install all of the software obviously, and then add a track, and then set it to record and to monitor. And then you want to go down to its effects and then drag in Helix Native. It will now prompt you to log in and make sure you've got the software assigned to your account. And then you've got access to all of your sounds. Let's pick something relatively at random. PV Panama always sticks out, so that's some kind of Eddie Van Halen sound. Make sure you double click on the patch in order to get access to it, by the way. Yeah, I just think that sounds so good. When you're playing, you want to make sure that your guitar is somewhere in this kind of input level range. So it's from about minus 12 dB down to 36. And that means that Line 6 Native will understand the amount of signal coming in as a sort of valid guitar signal. If it's too hot, then you will get a slightly overdriven sound, and if it's too quiet, it'll sound like you've just fed a really weak guitar signal into an amp. So it's expecting something in that range. But of course, it does mean you can play with a very distorted amp and still roll off the volume. And you should start getting kind of crunchy sound. So that's normal, and we want that. HX Stomp doesn't have this problem because you just plug your guitar straight in and it kind of understands what input level it's likely to get. So this is Line 6 Native. Let's just have a listen to some clean tones as well. Jazz Rivet, that sounds like it should be pretty clean. Yeah, really liking these sounds. So I've downloaded the full set list from my HX Stomp, so that should be all of the patches that I've been working on the actual hardware, and I want to now import them into Line 6 Native, so let's go and give that a try. So Setlists import, that seems like a good option. So here we are, great, these are all of my settings. Dadis Light, so this should be my sort of crunchy sound. Okay, Dadis Heavy, this is my kind of heavy, hard rock kind of sound. Yeah, okay, I mean, it sounds the same as my Stomp, which is all I wanted. Dadis Solo, so this is a little bit louder, so I get a volume boost when I'm playing live. Less useful while recording, I guess. But it's also got way more kind of echo and reverb and things on, and a bit more gain. Okay, I think I've sort of found that, you know, everything is sounding as it should. Let's do a recording and then try tweaking some of the sounds live, sort of while it's playing, just to prove that it can. Okay, so I think I've kind of proved what I set out to do, which is that you know, this is going to be really useful for recording. And the really cool thing is that you can import all of the patches you've already made and even export them again if you've done a bit more fiddling. And also another cool thing is that you get a few more blocks to play with in Line 6 Native compared to the HX Stomp. I know you've got more in like the big floor Helix units, but it just means that I can sneak an extra block in there if I want. So I think a fun thing to do now would be to make a little test track, and I'll use only sounds from Helix Native to make all of the guitar parts. And we'll add some drums and a bit of fake bass as well. Let's go. Okay, I've sort of thrown together a song. It's just over a minute long. I picked some fairly random effects, just things I sound cool out of the Line 6 presets that come along with the Native. And I present to you the song Native Speaker. Let's go. Okay, so that's Line 6 Native, and if you haven't guessed already, I like it. I think it's really useful if you're going to be doing a lot of recording, and if you actually already have your sound in some Helix preset somewhere, it's great because you can then take that and just drop it into the recording studio, and it's fully recreated for you and ready to go. There was a little bit of debugging I had to do, like finding that other ASIO for all driver, so it's a little harder to get going than an HX Stomp, but I think it was worth it in the end. I love the fact that with this test song, if I wanted to re-record an old guitar part, I could just reselect that and punch in. I didn't have to dial in old settings or remember which patch I'd used to record it. And then when it came to mix down the song, it was all just ready to go as well. I didn't need to reamp anything or spend any more time there. The pricing is an interesting one because it's $400 on its own, but only $100 with the discount. And that $300 saving is so significant. It's more than half the price of a Stomp, so it's almost worth buying a Stomp just for the discount, and then you get this extra cool box of tricks that you can take with you and use live. Okay, I'd love to know what adventures you get up to with Line 6 Native, so please tell me about those in the comments down below, and I'll leave this test song available for download as well if you want to have a play with it. Okay, there you go. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, leave me a like down below, and you can help me out by subscribing to my channel as well. Okay, see you next time.